So it's brew day, as you might be able to tell by the actions that I'm doing. The original plan for this beer was I was going to make a Kolsch, but unfortunately I do not have any Kolsch yeast. I thought I had, but I don't. So instead what we're doing is a Kolsch grain bill. So 4.5 kilograms, very basic, 4.5 kilograms of Pilsner malt. That's just crisp Pilsner. And then 500 grams of wheat malt. I don't know who I got wheat malt from. It's very, very basic. So mashing in at approximately 64, which is quite low for me. So we'll do that for an hour, then we'll mash out for 15 minutes, and then we'll get into the boil. So just mashed in there, as I said, 4.5 kilograms Pilsner malt, 500 grams wheat malt. We're going to mash that for 60-ish minutes at 64, going to ramp it up to 70-ish. For 15 minutes, mash out. The water additions and all already in. And what I was trying to explain to you was it was originally meant to be a Kolsch, a designed Kolsch recipe. Then I discovered that I didn't have any yeast, any Kolsch yeast. So what we're doing instead is using S-04, which is a clean fermenting, fast acting yeast. There's no real rush on this beer. It's not a Christmas beer, it doesn't have to be ready for Christmas.
8 a.m. Santa's coming to town. Santa! Oh my God! Santa here? I know him.
At some point as well. It's all happening today. So we'll mash out. I will. Is there anything else I need to tell you? Yes, I'm actually going to do a sparge today. There's 9 litres of sparge water needs done. I don't have a second kettle, so I'm going to sort of do it like 1 litre at a time, 2 litres at a time, but add like 2 litres of hot water at the same time, wash it through that way to try and bring the temperature up a wee bit. So it's going to take me a little bit of time, a little bit of effort to do that, but hopefully it will help improve my efficiency. Worried a little bit about the wheat. We can sometimes get a wee bit congealed. It's not as bad as oats. I'm pointing at oats that you can't see. It's not as bad as oats, but I have recently, in the last couple of brews, had a little bit of issue with the stuff in the mash getting too sticky. I don't have rice hulls, so we'll just have to do what we do. So the mash and the sparge are complete. I played around a little bit with a small amount of lactic acid, about 4 millilitres in total, to bring the pH down to the range. So I think I got down to about 5.5-ish. Taking a pre-boil gravity, and my number was 1051 once you accommodated the temperature differential, and that has boosted my efficiency, my mash efficiency, it's easy for me to say, is up to 75%, and Brewfather reckons that the whole thing will then raise to 70%, which is more in line with what it should be using this system. So just goes to show you, yes, you can brew beer with a no sparge method, but even a shitty sparge method like I use with cold water still boosts your efficiency a little bit, as well as paying attention to things like pH. Nostalgia. It's not quite what it used to be. So just had hot break, and we're going to add 51 grams of Saaz. Easy as that. So as you can see, I'm using the fermented Saaz pressure conical fermenter. I'm going to pressurize this to 15 psi and stick it in the fermentation chamber at 24 degrees for 7 days. "'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a stout? I've lifted the wrong book. Oops. So there we are, folks. That's the finished product of my definitely not a Kolsch. Don't call it a Kolsch. The Kolsch police will be after you. Started off life as a Kolsch, as you've seen. Realised didn't have the yeast. Sorry, I had to do my jingle. Didn't have the yeast. Used S-04. It fermented within 7 days. Today is the 19th of December. So what are we talking? 10 days drained the glass. Not bad. You can see a little bit of carbonation coming up the glass. And the head's gone down to just minuscule, but it's quite tight, foamy, like marshmallow almost. On the nose, not an awful lot going on. It's like looks like a sweet spruce thing. Maybe I've just got the Christmas thing on, I'm smelling spruce, but there's definitely some sort of green there, foresty flavours. It's crystal clear, guys. Like, crystal clear, straw coloured, crystal clear. There is gelatin in it. Gelatin that today is Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. Gelatin did on Monday. So literally 24 hours it's been sitting in gelatin, and that's how clear it is. So that's quite impressive. Very thin bodied, very easy drink, no alcohol burn. And what have we got? We've got just a slight hint of carbonation. It's only been on the keg less than a week, so I wouldn't expect it to be fully carved up just yet. It's got that nice bitterness. It's like a commercial lager, like a Harp or Tennant or something like that, in that it's pretty plain, but there is just that hint of bitterness and that hint of just I can't even describe it. It's like a slight sweetness to it. It's very easy drinking, very easy drinking. I'm happy enough with it, very happy with it actually. So I cracked the code lager 2 months ago, and I immediately went back to try to jinx it, or trying to take shortcuts. This is green in the glass in less than a week. You know, it's not a lager, it's not being lagered, it's the hill I'll die on. It can be a lager no matter what yeast you use, as long as it's actually lagered. Lager is an old German word for storing, so it needs to be stored for several months. This hasn't been. It's not used lager yeast, so in that definition of lager, it's still not a lager. It's not a Kolsch, because it hasn't been brewed within the city confines of Clone. It's also not a Kolsch because they didn't use Kolsch yeast. It's not an ale. I mean, strictly speaking, it is an ale. It used ale yeast, but yeah, whatever. It's a beer at the end of the day. That's what we're looking for. My holy grail this year has been to make a beer to drink while watching football. I've made some, heavy hitters, IPAs and pale ales and stuff like that, and they've been absolutely fantastic. But you can't sit and watch football drinking them because they're just too alcoholic, too intense, too fruity, just, you know, they're not beer watching, they're not football watching beers, whereas this is definitely a sport beer. You can imagine drinking this out of a plastic cup. Stand up for the Ulster Bridge, stand up. Yeah, so as you can see, yeah, I've basically made Heineken in a plastic glass. So yeah, I'm happy enough with that beer. It was just basically a keg filler. I think it's mentioned in the previous video that what the fuck's going on there? I think I mentioned previously that I had 3 kegs empty, so it was just basically a keg filler. You know what? It's actually turned out really, really good. Simply Saaz. There's only Saaz in this. A little bit of Pilsner malt, a little bit of wheat malt, and you know what? Why not? It's a fantastic beer, guys. So you guys, that was pretty much it. Just final note then. Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope you have a great one and a happy brew year. See what I did there? Brew year instead of new. Brew year. Oh. So brew and new. It rhymes. Cheers.